your I can't believe I didn't get fired stories. We'll go ahead and start with me since I'm asking. And Kelly gave you a hint earlier as to what some of them were. Yes, dropped the big F-bomb on the air on 99.7 DJX. Yes, did that. Under my watch, I also played an unedited version of a song on the air. With an F-bomb that
was that
dropped.
when we were actually in front of a classroom of kids at the Radio Institute at WKU?
Yeah, we were teaching kids. Then someone actually tweeted the FCC about us on that, so could have gotten fired for that.
Oopsie daisies.
I also, yes, I've wrecked every single vehicle that we have, except for the one that we currently have. Thank you very much.
Oh, that's good. Do you drive it? I don't think. Have you driven that one before?
Yeah, I've driven that.
Okay, that's good.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. And you notice that
just a much better driver.
There was one time we used to have a Ben and Kelly car. We haven't had one since.
No, did I? Oh, I did. I rear-ended someone because I was texting.
And then lost the key.
I did lose the key. So anyway, there are a lot of reasons why I should have gotten fired, but I didn't. I escaped that
because
somehow.
People love you.
I guess.
It's your adoring public, I think, that saved your butt.
Danny messaged us and said I was a pizza delivery boy back in high school. Delivered to a house of people throwing a Super Bowl party. They asked me if I was a football fan. I said yes. And they told me to take a break, watch some of the game.
Oh, my gosh.
I ended up watching a full quarter before deciding that I should probably go back to work. I knew I would probably get fired, but I was a senior in high school going away to college soon, so I didn't really care. My boss asked me what happened. I told him. He kept me around.
Really?
He wasn't cool at first, but then he screamed at me, and I was pretty sure he was going to let me go. After he finished yelling, I asked if I was fired. He said, why? So I could hire another one of you idiots? I'll stick with the idiots I know. I continued working there on breaks from college, and over 15 years later, I'm still friendly with my old boss. He works at the same pizza place, and I go there with my family sometimes.
That's the best. That's the best. But I'll stick with the idiots I know.
Right. So I can hire more idiots?
Great.
I'll stick with the idiots I know.
To get to know new idiots. You're going to do new idiotic things. At least I know your wheelhouse.
Oh, my gosh.
That is great. Joe says, I worked at a car dealer as a mechanic. At the end of the day, we all had to lock all the garage doors and close up for the night. Mm-hmm. I was shutting the last garage door when this dude ducked in right beneath the door. It was closing, locking. I just assumed he was this similar-looking dude who worked in sales since he was holding what looked to be some magnetized dealer tags.
Oh, no.
Well, he wasn't the guy in sales.
Right.
He was a car thief.
Oh, no!
And I let him right into the garage where all the customer keys are.
Oh, my gosh.
Bosses brought me into the office the next morning, showed me the camera footage of me just letting the guy right in.
Oh, you have video!
While everyone was packing up, he literally just stood next to the customer keys perfectly still as if our site was movement-based, LOL. I thought it was weird that he was just standing there in the dark as we shut off the lights, but I didn't think much of it because I figured he worked there. Act like you belong, I guess. Several cars were stolen that night.
Oh, my gosh. Like, just assumes, well, I guess he's probably supposed to be here.
He looks legit.
He looks like he's supposed to be here.
I mean, they have dealer tags, right?
Gosh.
At the dealership. I mean, yeah, I can get it. But.
Got another message from a listener. Years ago, tension was a little high at work, and my boss told me some of us to work late. At quitting time, I blew up over the radio and realized I said a bunch of stuff someone shouldn't have said to their boss. Luckily, it didn't end bad for me, though. LOL.
Oh, well,
right.
Wow.
That is good.
That's good. And by the way, Justin's rolling in with some little support. He says you're not getting fired because there can be no Ben and Kelly show without the Ben.
True. Well, they could hire another Ben. I mean, they could hire another dude named Ben to sit here in my seat. I mean, let's not pretend I'm not replaceable.
Well, let's also not pretend he has to be named Ben. They could just rename it.
I got another message from someone who wants to remain anonymous. I was working in retail, went to work drunk. Boss heard me stumbling in the break room, found me, called a coworker. They dragged me out the back door and took me home. I was made manager a few months later.
Oh, my gosh.
You know what?
Can we sidetrack back to you?
Oh.
Remember the one time you got drunk on margs because some friends dropped off margaritas for National Margarita Day at like 5:30 in the morning?
Yeah,
and
but that was
started going in.
That was a bit.
But at the end, you gave this epic speech to like the entire staff. Remember all that?
No, I don't remember.
About this people in this room.
At least I'm a lovey drunk rather than
you were lovey drunk, and then you had to hide the rest of the day to sober up in your office.
That's right.
Like
I did.
skipped meetings.
I did
because you were sobering up.
I did. Thank you, Kelly, for
You're welcome.
Highlighting all of the.
Find another one.
Thanks. Jenny said, "My boss said take out the piercings." I said, "Fire me." She didn't. LOL.
Wow, that's a bold move. If you're gonna sit there and say, "What are you gonna do? Fire me?"
Right? And they're like, "I guess not."
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, thanks for the stories. That's good. Appreciate
most of them from Ben. Thank you, Ben, for all the sharing.
All right. It's 99.7 DJX.